Hello.
What have we here? Welcome everybody back to another episode of the Podwans podcast. I am your host Luke, and as always, the man next to me.
It's me,
Go ahead.
Char J. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's show. We'll be covering episode 6 of season 3. Is that right?
No, it's episode 4. Episode 4.
Okay, I was way ahead. Episode 4 of season 3 of Clone Wars, titled Sphere of Influence. We're going to be getting a deep dive about that, and you guys will be seeing that in about 2 minutes. Let's hunker down. Let's introduce our guests for the show.
Yep.
You never would have made it as Obi-Wan's Padawan, but you might make it as mine.
Now, time to bring on our awesome guests for this episode.
So the first one is...
Okay. Who do you...
I think
We'll do Kyber or Liz from Kybercrystaldesigns. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Is this your first podcast?
It is. I'm very nervous.
There we go.
Awesome.
First for everything. Let's go. Awesome. I'm so happy that you could make it, and we appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
No, yeah, absolutely. And then we've got a person that has been on before.
Yeah, she was in the first watch-along for the Book of Boba Fett.
This
very
is
first
true.
Episode.
Yep, and she's one half of Sith Faced Pod. Elenus, Notakyber, how's it going?
It's going great. I'm happy to be back.
Ooh, and you're talking Clone Wars this time. You're not talking Boba Fett.
Mhm.
I know, it's my thing. I got the shirt on.
There you go.
Ready to
I see
go.
that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Prequels girl at heart.
There you go. We've got some people in the chat. Harith from They Fly Now. Go follow them on all of their social medias. And go check out their podcast. Monday nights, they stream. They just pick a topic and they talk. They have people on, and it's a lot of fun. I've been on twice or 3 times. It's always good. It's always a good time with Carter and Harith.
We also have the second half of the Sith Faced podcast. We have Grand Admiral V in the chat as well.
Ooh,
Hi,
I was just about to get there. You got a little bit
I beat
ahead
you
of
to
me.
it. Beat
Yeah.
you to it.
Aiden talks Star Wars topics. We are trying to get him to 1,000 followers on TikTok, so go follow him. He does great content. We've got Liv supporters here. We always love that, coming out and hanging out and supporting her and hanging out, I guess. Saint Pat, hello. Hey.
And then we have
Hi,
Brooke in the chat.
Brooke. We're gonna take a second here to plug Brooke's stuff. Brooke has a Etsy shop called Far Far Away Factory. She does everything from custom jackets to t-shirts to stickers for laptops or anything like that. Shoes. So if you're looking for something Star Wars for either a significant other or even if you just want to treat yourself, go to Far Far Away Factory on Etsy. It's got an Instagram at Far Far Away Factory. Follow Brooke on TikTok at B_Dazzler. And go check her stuff out. It's great. She's awesome. And then we got Grand Admiral V, who Elenus, we really have to work on her to get her on a Clone Wars episode.
I know she's my Thrawn, my other half of my Thrawn. I'm working on the Clone Wars. Currently, V's brainworms are on the High Republic,
where it should be.
Half of my brainworms
Exactly.
are there too.
Which
but
it should be.
We'll get her there. We'll get her there.
But thanks everybody for showing up and supporting us and supporting these great women. And let's get into it. Real quick before I guess we get into the episode. I'm gonna start with Liv. What got you into this little thing that we like to call Star Wars?
Well, my dad showed me A New Hope when I was about 5, and I think I lasted like 20 minutes. I did not have the brain capacity for Star Wars yet. So I grew up kind of aware of it, but never really into it until The Mandalorian came on, because that felt like a really easy access point into the wonderful, crazy world of Star Wars, and it's been downhill ever since.
Or maybe
I would-
uphill. I think.
yeah, I
I
was
think
gonna
it's
say that. I
uphill.
wouldn't say
I
that
was
it's
thinking. I
downhill.
wouldn't say
Come
it's
on.
downhill. I think it's an uphill. What? So, and another thing. What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
That's so hard. I would actually say A New Hope, because it's just like it's the first one. It's the original. All the excitement is there, and it feels like almost not amateur, but it feels, I don't know. You can tell it's their first one, and I really like that quality. Like, when the stormtrooper bonks his head and things like that.
Okay.
So
No,
yeah.
that's a good answer. I like that answer a lot. And Elena's.
So I got into Star Wars. I saw Attack of the Clones somehow. I think it was like on TV or something, and I was like, "This is the coolest thing ever." Had no idea that like Star Wars was a thing. Begged my mom to go to the library, so we rented all of the DVDs when like DVDs were like a thing still.
I forgot you could get DVDs from the library.
Yeah. And I fell in love, was extremely confused when watching the originals because I was like, what is that? Very confused. And it's just kind of spiraled. And then, once I understood how to like link things together as I got older, I understood that like the prequels came after, but they also came first, technically.
Mhm.
And then I got into the books, and here I am.
That's awesome. And what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Attack of the Clones. I will
Wow.
defend it until the day I die. It has the best world building. It has the best characterization. We get to see Kamino. We get to see Coruscant. I love Obi and Annie's interactions. The Battle of Geonosis.
Whoa,
Chef
wait.
Kiss.
Hold on.
Love it.
Hold on. You just said you loved the interaction between Anakin and Obi-Wan?
Yes,
In that
like
movie?
that elevator scene. That's one of my
Okay.
favorites.
Okay, elevator scene, okay. But the
I
rest of
also
their
love them.
interactions, it's
But
like
it's so them. It's so them.
but it's such a contradiction to what he says in episode 4 though. That's the only problem I have.
know. I
that
love
it's-
it though.
But the Clone Wars, which we're talking about, makes up for that.
Yes.
Makes up for that.
Yeah, and it's kind of like my story. How Lucas heard this plenty of times. Where my first
Oh,
movie
yeah.
that I saw was Attack of the Clones, and I really resonated with it when I was younger.
Mhm.
But as I grew older, I kind of just strayed away from that movie. So, I mean, movies are an experience or is an experiential thing. So, my experience of the movie now is different from yours, and that is perfectly fine. Like, it's all about experience. And if you had a better
Yes.
experience than I did, more power to you.
Yeah, I am the when I say prequels, like my second favorite Star Wars movie is literally Phantom Menace. So I'm really on the outskirts here. I'm really on the outskirts
like,
here.
Not a
Hey.
lot of people. You know what? That's interesting. You say that because when people say they love the prequels, their favorite movie is Revenge
Revenge
of
of
the
the
Sith.
Sith. That's my
Mhm.
third.
Oh my god, I Revenge of the Sith always like it's Empire or Revenge of the Sith for me. It flip flops daily. Like which one is my favorite?
Yeah.
Because there's so
I
many
can see that.
iconic moments. And like obviously, if you can't tell, like Darth Vader is my boy, and like, but watch it. Well, talking about my favorite characters, like Black Chrysanthemum's becoming one of my favorite characters, and I don't even care. I love that Wookiee. But yeah,
We got the
Charge.
glasses on.
Yeah, Oh man,
I had to bring him back. Come on.
you did.
Iconic.
You did.
Hey, they were $10 at Party City. I had a cop.
That's true. I mean, that's not bad for $10, I guess.
Gotta get the $10 worth out of
Yeah,
them.
that's
They were
true.
Vader ones, but I was like, nah.
Well, you know,
Nah, I gotta do Boba.
Boba Fett's my favorite character. I have to
he's
stick
the
with it.
Yeah, it's okay. He's the superior character anyway. Vader is.
I mean, he is the centerpiece of Star Wars.
I
but
mean, he is kind of important.
Boba Fett is just cooler in my mind. So,
Well, yeah. I mean, and like, yeah, we'll talk about it in a little bit later about Boba Fett as a whole. But you guys came here to talk Clone Wars, and that's what we're gonna do. So we are in season 3, episode 4, the Sphere of Influence. This episode, from a canon standpoint, is exactly where it stands in canon. Usually sometimes when we do arcs and stuff, especially in the first 2 seasons, everything was wish-washy chronologically. This is where it starts to really, everything starts to be coming in line correctly. But Char, it's time for your plot summary.
All right.
Hit
So
me.
the annual, or not the annual, the weekly plot summary of
Yep.
chapter 4 of season 3. All right.
Yep.
Here we go. Let me get in straight. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Pantora in peril. The newly elected chairman of Pantora, Baron Papanoida, is caught in a deadly political game. The Trade Federation has blockaded Pantora and suspended all commerce within the system. Isolated from the rest of the Republic, the people of Pantora are beginning to rally against the Senate, who have seemed unsympathetic to their palate. Or plight, my bad. I said palate, not plight. Anyway, next part. To make matters worse, Count Dooku has come forward of offering aid and Pantora joins the Separatist Alliance. Chairman Papanoida has dispatched Senator Chuchi to Coruscant with the home... this one's long.
You got it.
The
Go.
hope that she can motivate the Senate to act in favor of Pantora before Lot Dodd can legitimize the blockade.
Nice.
Woo.
That was
Very,
my-
very, very well done, my friend.
I say that was subpar because I had a little bit of a breather in between and I kind of messed up
Well,
some words. But I
I
mean,
mean,
hey, I think that's one of the
I
longest
will
plot
s-
summaries
I
that I've read so far. So
I will say this though, Char. I guarantee you, Tom Kane got to pause and then record the next part of it. He didn't have to
Well,
do it all in one take.
you don't know that. I mean, he's a legend.
He
You know
is
me,
a legend,
I'm
but
just Char. I'm just
I-
Char.
now you're selling yourself short.
It's
Not
I
what
do.
we're about here, Char. Come on. But so we start off with a shot of, I believe we see the Federation ships in front of Pantora first. And they're blockading obviously Pantora because they are part of the Republic, and they're like, oh well, we're not going to allow that because Palpatine's like, let's try to screw with some more people, like the entire time. Like that's the one thing about the prequel trilogy. It's like if the Jedi had some insight and actually listened to the Force, they would have figured it out. None of it would have happened. But I digress. So Senator Chuchi goes to and pleads with the Senate in the beginning, and I wish we had more of her character.
I wish so
Yes.
too.
Same.
Anybody else like I feel like
a-
it's as a consensus there, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's like the Pantoran Padme. It's very simple. Like she's such a strong mind in the Senate. She knows what she's talking about. She's fighting for her home planet, just like how Padme did when Naboo had the blockade happen to them in the Phantom Menace. So I feel like in this case, she is the Padme to Pantora. I was about to say Pandora, to the Phantom Menace. So I think it's a cool connection that is shown in this show, in this episode specifically.
Anybody else got anything to add about Chuchi?
Yeah, she shows up not very often, but I really love her character. I love her design, and I feel like she goes through a lot of change for such a character with such low screen time, especially in that one arc that I don't remember the name of, where she has to come into herself as a senator a little bit, and you really see that change in this episode.
Yeah, of the former chairman of Pantora who got a spear thrown at him because he was a
Rest in peace.
douche. No. That guy was a certified douche. All right.
Yeah, he was the worst actually.
He was the worst. This is Pantora sovereign. It's like, nah, dude. You think these guys got on a spaceship? Nah, man. They don't even
Rest in
they
not
ride
peace.
animals. There's no way. Come on. But anyway, hate that guy. He's him. I say this every week. Him and Senator from Ryloth.
Oh yeah.
Onfree Tar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Useless.
Yeah,
useless
Ornfree Ta.
characters.
Crosshair's
And-
biggest accomplishment was shooting him, and I
Yes!
will die on that hill.
You are right. You
I
are
will
right.
die on that hill.
You are right. You are right, Elenus. But your thoughts on Chuchi?
I absolutely love her. So I love Pantorans so much. I love how they look. I love their like how ornate their dresses are. One of my favorite things about this episode is seeing not only just like their outfits, but even just like the Senate office, just how it's decorated. Absolutely love them. And I do wish we got to see more of her. I think like as much as everyone's like, stop with the Star Wars spin-offs, I would watch one of her. Because I'm a huge fan of like the politics of Star Wars. So I would totally love it from like her perspective.
No, yeah, I think that's interesting. I think that would be an interesting take. Looking at the chat, it's kind of funny. Kieran, who is the biggest Aralani fan, says Pantorans, the dollar store chiss.
My
Man.
favorite quotes from the Thrawn
Man.
novels is when they call him a Pantoran with an eye condition.
Oh yeah,
Love
that's
it.
right. They do say that. I forgot about that. You know, the Empire, I tell you what, they do love their aliens. No
Huge
sarcasm.
fan.
No sarcasm at all. So I like the fact that Chuchi is trying to insert herself into the situation to help, and then see Padme come in after her speech and be like encouraging, like, hey, like, don't feel like you're in this alone. Like, we all see that what's going on. Like, you're not alone. So then we get another. So then we get a wipe, I believe. And we see Anakin, Padme, and then Anakin and Padme. They're walking towards, I believe, her ship because she's going somewhere.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. And we have a nice little back and forth between them. And Padme's talking about what happens in episode 1 and how she can relate with Chuchi and all this and that. And Anakin he's not wisely, he just is a smart ass saying, hey, it wasn't all bad. He's trying to be cute. That's what he was. He's trying to be cute. He said, it wasn't all bad. It brought us together. And she kind of just like looks at him and she's like, I was trying to be serious here.
But then he just forgets that that's how Qui-Gon got murked.
Ooh.
Like he just that's the one line that I
yeah.
hate from that episode, because he was like, it's not all bad. I'm like, dude, Qui-Gon's dead. Did you just forget that?
The person that started this whole damn thing off is dead in that moment. How dare you, sir? How dare you? But what did you guys think of that conversation? I feel like that's really telling of what kind of Anakin and Padme's relationship is a little bit like.
To be honest, I didn't really have any thoughts on it at first. It's cute. It's their relationship and their banter, and I love seeing that in the Clone Wars.
Linus?
I just love how different they are, because she's having this like moment, and you know, Anakin's out here like, hey babe, it's pretty cute, right? And she's just like, shut up. Shut up. And that's one of the things that I love about the two of them, is just the dichotomy of the both of them is absolutely outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really like in that scene too is it's Anakin almost at his like he's feeling himself, like even at like later on when he's talking with Ahsoka, he's like trying to impress his girl. And I think it's just like such a wholesome scene of like a real snippet of how Padme and Anakin like interact organically, without the presence of, you know, people they're uncomfortable with. So I love that little clip between them.
Oh yeah. Char, your thoughts on that?
I thought it was really cool because like Anakin has always been that person where he's like, well, you know, if you want to step in, we can, but and then Ahsoka's like, ah,
Yeah.
The way Anakin talks to Padme is so genuine, but at the same time, Anakin knows in the back of his head that if she needs anything, he'll always be there for her. And they're like, well, if the Separatists are involved, you know, maybe we can do a little bit of an investigation. I thought it was funny, but yeah, I love Anakin's, the way he talks to Padme is so, it's so genuine, but it's so funny at the same time, because you know how those two work together sometimes.
Yes.
It's like, it varies on the situation.
No, yeah, it's hilarious because it's like, it kind of reminds me of the conversations they have in Thrawn Alliances.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because they have a couple of back and forths kind of like that, where and it's kind of reversed roles, like just like in Attack of the Clones, like how he's being silly when she's trying to be serious, and then when he's trying to be serious, she's kind of like they
She's
flip
cracking
flop.
jokes.
She does
or-
like aggressive negotiation. Is this what you call aggressive negotiation? And then you see the little smirk from Hayden Christensen go, "I got that joke."
Or like another
I got that
thing
joke.
of role reversal is when
Yes.
Obi-Wan jumps out of the window instead of Anakin.
Yes.
I love that.
that scene.
Yep. But so the reason why Ahsoka's coming is like running, dashing up to Anakin and Padme is because the chairman. I'm not even going to say the name. Not even going to try.
Papanoida.
Papanoida. Oh, you know what?
Papa
That's so.
Noida.
Okay,
Okay.
Papanoida.
Yeah.
Okay, because I usually screw up names and it's really bad.
Same.
Papanoida, and so that it's been discovered that his daughters have been kidnapped, and Chuchi and Ahsoka are friends. I would have liked to seen an episode of how that happened, because I feel like they just threw them together, like, oh, Ahsoka's known her forever. But then I have to remember, this is a child show. Not everything is going to be as like connective. Like, you don't have to go into detail about things. Like, I find myself doing that a ton lately. It's just like over analyzing everything. But like, I love the line where Ahsoka's like, we gotta help him, and Anakin's like, "Duh, we can't over." The one time he says, "We can't overstep our boundary, Snips," and she's like, "Come on," and then he's like, "All right, fine, you can go," and Ahsoka's like, "Why can't you?" He's like, "I gotta make sure nobody finds out about this little parade." Like, that was the best line from Anakin Skywalker in like the season so far. And nobody can change my mind on that one.
I always
but-
think that's like his that's like him and Padme time. He's like,
Yeah.
all right, the kid's gone.
Yes,
We're gonna go hang out.
Yeah,
You can go do it. Bye. See you later.
yeah. We're gonna go get a retreat. Go to
Yes.
go to Harloff Minor or something. Heard it's really nice there. But speaking of Ahsoka, this episode does a ton for her. Especially like, I mean, whenever we get to see Ahsoka alone away from Anakin and Obi-Wan, I feel like her character grows a ton. Anybody else kind of feel like that?
Yes.
Oh, definitely. Can I ask, is this the first time we see Ahsoka in season 3?
Yes, it is.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure. I have to. I don't even remember last week's episodes. That's the.
No,
it's-
it was supply lines. It was supply lines.
Oh yeah. So yes, I believe this is the first of that we see her, but I could be wrong. You know, I talk about the show and I can't even remember when characters show up.
I think this is the first like substantial time that we see her.
Yes.
Like she might be like in like have a line or two, because I think supply lines is mostly just like bail, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, yep, you're right.
So I think with her, this is her like, hey, I'm back in the season.
Yeah, I think it really sets the tone for her going into season 3.
No, but so yes, it is her first appearance because we go back in time because we have clone cadets and then we jump forward again with ARC troopers. And Ahsoka's not there at the point because it's before I think it's before or after. Man, it just gets all mumbled up. Why couldn't they just release them in the correct order? Gosh.
Because it's Star Wars.
I know,
Because
it
it's
makes
Star Wars.
sense. But it makes my job a lot harder.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, I like seeing these individual episodes with Ahsoka, and we get a lot more of them in this season. And I feel like this season really builds up Ahsoka to like the first 2 seasons. People were, when they were releasing, they were like, "Oh God, this girl again." But now it's like, wow, she's getting some character development, and like you cannot understate Ashley Eckstein.
Yes.
Because she does an amazing job with voicing Ahsoka, and If you haven't read the Ahsoka novel or listened to the Ahsoka novel, do it because it's great. It's great. So then she gets permission to go and investigate with Chuchi. So while Ahsoka and Chuchi travel to the blockade fleet in order to look for the sisters, Papanoida and his son, which by the way, I don't know if this is an interesting fact or not, Seth Green actually voices the son.
That is not one of my facts, so you're good.
Really? I knew the voice sounded familiar and I couldn't place it.
Yeah, it's Seth Green. He's the
Interesting.
one. He does Chris from Family Guy, and he also does a lot of the voices. Well, he's the creator of Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, those Robot Chickens are amazing. So Papanoida and son Ion, I guess it's Ion,
Yeah,
discovered the misplaced icon, because they go back into the apartment where the girls were taken, and they look underneath the mantle and they see blood, alien blood.
Mhm.
And like in that moment, I was thinking to myself, Papanoida, what a badass. He's awesome. Like he's a dad on a mission. Like he was Liam Neeson in Taken before Liam Neeson was in Taken. Like literally, he does exactly the same
It's a good
thing.
connection.
Yeah. He just like whips out that little thing and he's like, "Where's the blood from?"
Yeah, like
Like, he was ready to
He's
go.
like, "Hey Siri,
was.
test this blood sample."
Hey, so this looks like rhodium blood. Let's take a look at it. Anything about that scene or them doing investigating that really intrigued anybody?
I hate the Inspector. He's my least favorite Star Wars character besides Watto.
There we go. That's another one that's useless.
Hate
Screw that
him.
guy.
I
God,
literally
little
have in my
weasel.
notes, ugh, this guy. Like, I don't even remember his name, but yeah.
His name is
insufferable.
I'm forgetting his name is Devo.
Yeah.
Something
Yes.
Devo. I'm forgetting his name.
He's the worst. Him.
He looks like Neville from iCarly. I just want to like like I hate him. Like I hate him.
Oh my god, that's funny.
No, oh my god. That
They're
is
the
such a
same
fucking
person, I'm
connection.
convinced.
Oh yeah. See, a lot of people are with us on this one. I would punt that guy into the sun.
Yeah, he deserves it.
I agree, Brooke. He is the worst. And yes, Element, we have some new faces, it seems. Yes, absolutely, Element. But anything else about that scene that really resonated with you guys?
I thought the statues were really interesting because it's like we were all saying about wanting to see more of the Pantorans, and here's this little sneak peek into their lifestyle. We don't know anything about it, but it looks super cool and interesting, and it makes me want to know more about them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm forgetting what that object was. Because Papanoida says something about
Deity to the
moon
moon
goddess,
sun.
Mhm.
Yeah, or
the moon goddess, or
some
something
god.
like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like this is like the first time we actually get a dive into who the Pantorans are
And their
and
culture.
it's- Yeah,
Yeah. I want to
Good.
say this, but like I hope it's not one of your facts, and if it is, you can
go
yell
go
at
ahead,
me.
go ahead.
I
Malik does
love
it all the time when he's on, so
I know.
nothing new.
I love. I'm gonna say her name wrong because I butcher everything. The daughter, Chiekwe, the daughter,
Something like that. Yeah.
is modeled off of George Lucas's daughter in Revenge of the Sith because she's like has that little cameo.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh yeah, because
I-
Papanoida is supposed to be. Yeah,
George
that's
Lucas,
gotta
yeah.
be one of them.
Oh wow.
That's gotta be one of them.
So I love that.
Partially. It's not everything though. There's more to it.
So I just love that because I remember like the first time when I was watching Clone Wars, I was like, that looks familiar. And then I was watching Revenge of the Sith one day, made the connection, and I was like, wow, they really have the details on pack here.
Oh
Yeah,
absolutely.
something with the continuity. It's like Dave Filoni just knows what to do.
I swear
He
that
knows
man is like wired into Star Wars. He just injects it into his bloodstream
know.
every morning. Like I'm convinced.
I need that.
He like
Same.
no, instead of a good morning text to George Lucas, it's like a huge like 3-page questionnaire. Like
Google form.
so Yoda does this in Empire Strikes Back. What's the reasoning for it? Like why are the Mandalorians the way they are? Like just like
Wait,
these long, just
when
like
Yoda says
not-
it's,
not
is it
like-
is it ITS or IT apostrophe S?
yeah. Yeah, that's just what I feel like. Dave is just like, all right, George.
He picks and he does everything just as perfectly as he can. He nails the outfit for Papanoida because it's exactly how it was in Revenge of the Sith in that cameo in the Senate building. So
No, yeah.
it's just
Well,
it's fantastic.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So they get the scan of Greedo, which this is technically the first ever canon appearance of Greedo. Unless you're counting the episode 1 deleted scene of where Anakin and Greedo are fighting. Are those canon? Yes or no?
That is not a canon deleted scene. I know there are canon deleted scenes, but that is not one.
That isn't one?
I don't think
Are
so.
we sure?
No. Because I
I'm
remember
pretty
talking
sure.
about it one time for my Greedo video, and everyone was saying that that deleted scene was not canon. So
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, Wald is there. I mean, it's not Greedo, but it's a Rodian.
yeah.
It's one of them.
Agreed. Yeah. But like I said, this is Greedo's first appearance in canon, which is interesting because it's like we see him in the OT where he was introduced, and then we see what happens to him, obviously. And we are a Han shot first podcast. I will not hear anything else of it. But yeah. So they travel to Tatooine because they find on his blood, it has like the entire biography on that small little thing. Because Papanoida is like, so he works for Jabba. He lives on Tatooine. Like, I'm just like, why can't we get this in real life? That would be so like I
Right?
get we have a phone, but like that would be so useful for like investigators. Like just pull it up. But I mean, I
It's
guess
like,
it's
well,
kinda like
they're here.
yeah. They were here. We know who it is. But so they go to Jabba's palace, and this, like, after watching, but like Book of Boba Fett, like watching Jabba's palace, like the way, like almost at its height, was interesting. Because now it's just Boba, Black Chrysanthemum, Rancor, Fennec Shand, and the Gamorrean guards. So there's not like a lot of things going on. And I thought it was funny how he went up to the Twi'lek and was like, anybody here heard of Greedo? And she's like, no, but I know where he is.
And it just like saunters away.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. And I thought it was funny how the son was like, why didn't you just tell her to get her to tell us where he is? And he goes, trust me. She's going to do exactly what we want her to do. She's going to bring him to us. Again, Papanoida, Dad of the Year, Liam Neeson, Taken, Star Wars version. That's that guy. Any thoughts on Greedo actually showing up and being like a big part of this?
I'm like numb to Greedo. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I think it's like a cool throwback, but like I'm not like Greedo. Like I was just like, oh, that's neat. But like I don't know if this is like a toxic trait of mine, but like Jabba's like palace like looked like pretty hyped to be at. Like just like for a drink or two. Like I wouldn't want to be involved.
I would honestly
I'd like
love
to
to just be there,
visit.
just hang out, because like they have like a whole row of just people just hanging there, and they just want to see Cy Snoodles, Max Rebo. They want to see,
Right?
Joe Yowza. Ah!
Like I for one would go for a drink.
I would too.
So maybe that's like my Star Wars toxic trait amongst many.
And just,
But that's
like, because where Han is frozen in carbonite there as Jabba's favorite decoration. I would just sit under because you know how there's the giant tauntaun head stuck on the wall. I just sit under there and just start sipping on my spatchka. That's what I do.
yeah.
Come on.
Oh,
Who
you're not,
wouldn't?
Sounds like a good
Who
time.
wouldn't?
you're not
Okay,
going to.
I'll go under the tauntaun. Luke, you can go under the Nerf head that's there. You can go
Okay.
under there.
Well, I'm
Into
not
that.
drinking. I'm not drinking that. I'm drinking the hard stuff.
Oh, what? Are you gonna drink a fuzzy tauntaun from Galaxy's Edge? What are you doing?
No, not a fuzzy tauntaun.
What about a
The
Jabba
one that
juice?
is the one that is known in the High Republic to be really, really good. I can't remember. Port in a Storm. Yeah, that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're
I-
There's
talking
also
about.
a drink called the Hole Stripper. I think it's Legends. I don't think it's canon.
What?
And it's
What?
apparently it's
What is
It's
that?
a what?
it's like basically like the Star Wars version of Everclear. And it's supposed to like take like the paint off of ships. That's what
I
I'd be
didn't know.
drinking.
I didn't know Star Wars had like it's like special kind of moonshine and all this
The
shit.
things that I have looked up on Wikipedia is foul. Is foul. That
So
being
you-
one of them.
So just on your free time, you just look up different alcoholic beverages that are in the Star
I
Wars
do.
universe.
I mean, she
Okay.
has
I
to.
do.
She has a whole
Okay.
podcast where her and V drink and talk about Star
No, it's
Wars.
Star Wars.
Sith
You know what
Fa-
you should
Sith
do?
Faced
You
pod.
should, for one of your shows, you should make concoctions of these Star Wars drinks live.
And
Like just like, oh, vodka. We got vodka. We got rum. We got rum.
oh my
V and I would be more drunk than normal.
Oh God, no! You guys like, oh man. But I digress. So she goes to Greedo, and Greedo ends up capturing Papanoida, but it's like again, Papanoida, badass, certified badass. He knows what he's doing. Turns the gun on Greedo, like he has his knife. Turns the knife on Greedo, and he's like, "We're gonna talk to Jabba about this." And I was like, again, Dad of the Year. Dad of
Icon.
the freaking year.
Absolutely.
Icon.
Alpha
Oh.
George. Alpha George.
That's a callback. Alpha George. That's a callback. So then they go to Jabba's palace, and Jabba's like talking his whole Huttese, and I'm just like, dude, I know what happens to you. That's really sad. F
Nah,
in the
he
chat.
deserves it.
Yeah, he does deserve it.
He
Screw
deserves
that guy.
it.
Screw that guy. But I thought it was funny how Greedo couldn't even keep a poker face for like less than 5 minutes. He was like, "All right, so we're gonna use the blood. I want your permission to," which was weird. Why did he ask him if he could get the blood from Greedo? Why did he ask Jabba? Was it because he was working for him?
That's what I think.
Yeah, I'd assume so.
Jar?
I think it was because just I honestly don't know.
Because I mean, it's not like Jabba owns all of his bounty hunters. Or I guess now thinking about it, they would technically be employees if you're asking that. But it's not like they're gonna. That's
I'd be
weird.
terrified of Jabba.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey Jabba, can I say hi to Greedo? Like I wouldn't double cross him.
Ugh.
I'd ask
Yeah.
for permission.
I don't know. That just popped in my head all of a sudden. I'm like, that's weird that he asked to get the blood, because I guess he also says that he's accusing him of doing something, and I guess the Hutts and the Pantorans are close. Don't ask me how that works, but here's what St. Pat says. He says because if Jabba ordered Greedo, he couldn't refuse. That's what it was, because he was testing Jabba to see if he was the one that was behind it. Good catch, Pat. Thank you. Also, go follow him on TikTok. We need to get him to.
Oh yeah, I
1,000
forgot
follow.
about that. That was Papanoida's plan. He was trying to, because his son was just trying to just move and just figure it out, but he was like, wait, Jabba might be a part of this, so we have to
Yes.
be cautious, because if Jabba is a part of it, we're gonna be in kind of a mess here.
No, yeah.
So, yeah, it was good planning on Papanoida's part.
Yeah,
but-
he definitely did. And
Yeah.
he got Greedo to squeal.
yeah. And
And
I loved how Papanoida was playing the dad card, and he was like, I know what it's like to lose a child, and because obviously from the Clone Wars animated film, the whole
yes.
movie was about
Stinky.
rescuing
Oh yeah, we did
Jabba's,
get it. We did get
Jabba's son,
Stinky.
Punky Muffin, the Punky Muffin. Pumpkin Muffin. I don't know
Yeah,
whatever
it is.
Jabba says, but I love how he pulls that card and be like, yeah, I know what it's like to lose a son. If you could help me and understand that Greedo is the one behind this, and he's like, I am not involved. And I'm like, I don't know, I can't speak Rhodian. We'll talk about that later.
No,
I love
but
how I love how genuinely happy Jabba is to like have his son and like showing him off, and
Yeah.
We've never seen him that
Yeah.
happy before. I thought that was kind of cute.
No, yeah. But what was like? Obviously, if you're in the Star Wars universe and you see that, you're not riding with Greedo because you know he'll squeal at the soonest he can to save his own skin. And I feel like if you're a bounty hunter, that's not a good look. Am I right?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
mean, you got to be able to trust each other a little bit, even though you know, like everybody's out for themselves as bounty hunters, and like just to see him like squeal was like,
Yikes.
bro.
But also, even though this is like a totally irrelevant scene, can we just talk for a moment about the one where it's like the Twi'lek and Greedo, and they just like make out for like 30 seconds?
I'm like,
Oh yeah.
It was so unneeded.
Hey, it's not as bad as when Zero and Psy Snoodle.
Oh,
That's exactly what I
shenanigans.
thought of. Yeah.
good God.
So I give it some slack.
I was like, y'all are really out here animating tongue. Like, we don't need this here. Like, we don't need this.
This is PG. Stop making it PG-13.
I was like, this is out there.
Hey,
That
back
was-
in 2011 when it came out, it was PG. So
yeah. Standards
Pushing
of,
boundaries.
yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see. Dave's like, so is it canon for Rhodians and Twi'leks to kiss?
We're gonna find out.
George, confirmation. Yeah, it makes sense.
well,
It makes sense.
I think it is a really cool thing to have a different races of the Star Wars universe to come together and have a love relationship. It's a very nice thing, you know.
Oh my, that was a really good George.
Yes.
But that's,
I tried doing it for Harith, and he was like, "You suck."
oh, yeah. You know what it is.
You're trying
But
to be a
yeah,
Star Wars fan.
I think I put that in the back of my mind, and I was like, okay, I want to forget that scene. But
It's so out of
I
place.
didn't think about it too much. I didn't think about it too much. That's what you got to do. You just have to push it off. and
Yeah,
just be
yeah,
like,
you just-
it's maybe they're in a relationship. Just move on. They can guess. It's whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I thought it was funny. Like he squealed, and Papanoida was like, "Where is he?" And it's like that's the moment right there. That's the on the phone. I have a special set of skills, and I was like, "Yep, here we go. I want the monologue. Say it right now." But like he made him squeal, and and Greedo's like, she's in Mos Eisley, and he's like, "All right, take me there." And it was. Like I said again, don't bring Greedo on a job because apparently he just can't keep his mouth shut. So there you go. Moral of the
Or
story.
Greedo will backstab you if need
yeah,
be.
yeah. Don't trust Greedo.
We all know how bounty hunters work. Come on.
Yeah.
If they have a chance to get all of the profits, they will take you out and take it all. Unless you're part of Crate's Claw or whatever. But
No, yeah.
if you're with someone you don't trust, don't go at all.
No, yeah. So they go to the bar in Mos Eisley, and Greedo tries to play off like he's trying to give the other people in the bar like that are part of his posse like a hint, and it's not very subtle. Like he just is like, yeah, they're with the like Papanoida's got the awesome looking pistol, by the way. Those things are badass.
Yeah.
But he's like pointing it, and then finally Greedo's like, they're Pantorans. It's like, isn't that kind of obvious? Like, what are we doing here? But let's talk about like I want your guys' thoughts on that whole like bar fight scene.
Well, first I gotta say it was the bartender diving under the bar for me before it even got started. That was great, and yeah, I just thought it was amazing, and he's a total badass, and it was just everything.
Linus?
I love me a good bar scene. I just
Mhm.
my heart belongs to them. The bartender diving under, I love it because it's just the way he takes the bottle and he's like, it's a normal Thursday here. Like,
Yeah, he just grabs it and
it's
just
so good.
He's like, I gotta save the product. We gotta
Yeah.
save the product.
he's like,
And
this is my
honestly,
good
props to
stuff.
him.
Leave me alone.
Yeah,
Good employee. He should get
Yeah.
a raise.
No, yeah, absolutely. But like, the sound of the pistols. I don't think we hear that sound all that often, like that pistol sound that those pistols make. but that is so awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that they were just like, all right, and this felt like a Western, like, in it as it should, because you're on a sand planet. It's just like how a lot of Mandalorian feels, a lot how Book of Boba Fett feels. And I love just the action of this scene, because it's like they tip over the table and there's like blaster bolts that are just like,
But it's like your typical
there.
saloon fight.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. It's a saloon fight. You get the broken bottle over the head by the daughter. She grabs a pistol. I'm like, man, this is just great. I love.
I just
this.
also love how everyone is just ready to throw hands at any point in time.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
no one's just like, oh man, let me finish my rum and coke. Like they're just really out here like, let's go. I love that about Star Wars.
No, yeah, absolutely. Like they're just so, man. Pantorans are very interesting, and I say this again. I wish we got more of that race, and maybe we could see some in some other projects to come down the line. Maybe Senator Chuchi survives, and she's really old, and she's in the Ahsoka show, maybe. Or
If they do live action Thrawn right, they can paint anyone blue.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's
Have the Blue Man
that's-
Group in Star Wars.
Right?
that's
Come
that's
on.
tough though. I feel like Thrawn's probably gonna be CGI'd. Like,
I
As
don't
long as
want
he's
that.
gonna
not, I
have-
They
don't
could
care.
they could easily make that happen. All you need to do is get some blue paint and some one of those big red, I'm forgetting the word for it, starts with an S, contacts that you just got to
Yeah.
put in.
Scaleris?
Yeah. Mhm.
for the win. For the win.
Luke, I'm so glad you're the only
Yeah.
one that heard that.
Well, I mean, I've listened to your podcast, so I know what to expect. I know what to expect. It's chaos. If there's any podcasts that are like, if I had to say Game of Thrones characters for each podcast, Sith Faced would be Littlefinger, hands down.
Oh yeah.
Hands down.
Oh
It's
yeah.
funny
Hands
because
down.
we were actually
Pure
talking about
chaos.
Littlefinger the other day.
Just pure chaos. Just
Yeah, 100%.
anything happens. But yeah, like, and they handle their own. Like, the Pantorans take out everybody except for because the employee actually becomes a hostage, and like they kill the hostage, not the hostage, they kill the, what do you call that, the holdup? I can't remember, dude. This just trying to push through this.
I'm trying to read your mind right now, but I can't.
No, I know. There's no connection with the Force at this point. But so they get the one daughter. Now we go to the ship, and Ahsoka and Senator Chuchi show up, and the Trade Federation folks are just like, "Oh, what are you doing here? Like, what are you doing here?" Like, they try to be nice, and like Ahsoka is like in the back, like behind Chuchi, thinking, dude, this screams separatist. Like, there's no way that this isn't just the Trade Federation. But like she's disguised as a servant, and they're admitted on board the Trade Federation ships and quartered in for the impending negotiation sessions that they have. I will get to that comment in a second. The same night, those two, they sneak into the Trade Federation ambassador's office, where they overhear Administrator Sib
Kane, yeah.
Kane, talking about one of Papa Noida's daughters being kept aboard the ship. And let's talk about that scene. Like, those two, I feel like if Ahsoka wasn't a Force sensitive, that situation would have gone totally wrong.
Yeah, that would have been a catastrophe. 100%.
Yes. I think it also, what I liked about it, it shows how like seriously strong she is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in season 3, that's when she fully begins to develop her Jedi skills.
Yes.
Yeah, I love this scene because we really get to see Ahsoka push herself in ways that we haven't really before, and it's just such a good scene with the tension. Even if, like, I was on the edge of my seat, even though I've seen this show like 3 times.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I definitely see what you're talking about too, because Ahsoka is just, that's like before when the scene where they're under the table She just knows what to do in sticky situations like that. Like she knows how to handle eight super battle droids in a matter of seconds, and her skills are complete.
No, yeah, pretty much. Like, and it's so funny because it's like they're under the table when the two representatives are talking, and then the one looks under, but the other one doesn't notice like them shoot up into the ceiling.
Yeah, only one looks down, but
Yes.
are they just looking out the window? Like
The other
Obi-Wan
guy
and
is like,
Qui-Gon were doing
"Hey,
in episode 1.
the void of space looks great. It's really, really darker than usual lately, man." And then he just turns around and like ironically, like Ahsoka keeps up Chuchi, and like that's like I said, that's the only way like that really works.
Like doesn't
Yeah, it's because
Ahsoka
of her.
understand that negotiations with the Trade Federation are always going to be short? Like, are we not going to understand that? It's
Yeah.
never going to be more than 20 minutes. You're going to be like, "Oh, I'm scared. Send droids." Like,
No, yeah,
it's
pretty much.
'Cause
never.
they're cowards. They're cowards.
They are cowards.
They're cowards.
They're cowards. Absolutely. So from that scene, they figure out where the other daughter's being held. And like, and the other thing is like a gas, like even when they're still under the table, Chuchi gasps, and that's how the guy like hears something. He's like, "Do you hear something?" And the other guy is like, "Working with the separatists has made you like crazy, man. Like what's wrong with you?" And like they find out, they go to the detention cells or detention level, and Ahsoka uses her mind trick for I think this is the first time she's used the mind trick. She uses the mind trick. It works on the Nemoidian the first time, so she walks through, and like
I laughed at this scene. I thought that was so funny.
and then she walks past, and then Chuchi tries to walk, and he says the same spiel, and Ahsoka's like, "You're gonna let us both through," and it's like,
He's like, "I will let you both through."
no, yeah, it's just
He was struggling a little bit, but he was like, "All right, come on, just go ahead."
no, yeah, go ahead. And so they get to the detention complex, and they find Che in one of the cells, and Ahsoka again using the Force like does a awesome like little spin move and takes down the droids. I'm like, yep, the flashiness. You are Skywalker's apprentice.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also didn't understand. I was like, she's already in a detention block. Why do we have two droids in there with her? Like, what is she going to do?
Yeah.
She's not like a warrior.
Mhm.
You just have these two. You're wasting.
No, yeah.
This is why the Trade Federation's the worst. No planning, no logistics.
Nope. Not at all. Not at all. And then Ahsoka, like, so they get caught. Ahsoka is like, all right, here we go. Now time to really show off my badassness. And she just goes hard, and then points the saber at the
senator, or not the senator,
well, not
the
the
I forget
administrator.
his name.
Yeah, the Nemoidian, the administrator. Yes.
Yeah.
She had her little backwards grip too. It made me so happy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you don't see that backwards grip until, is it this season, or is it in? I guess I didn't really recognize it in the first two because I feel like her like signature was this to start with, and then it kind of shows like the growth of Ahsoka, like she's starting to learn different things. So that was a nice little thing to see, especially with her character. Talking about her character is that she uses different grips. She's able to use different forms and stuff like that. So that's nice. But she's like, "All right, you separatist scum. We know what's going on." And the other partner comes in. He goes, "What's the meaning of this?" And he's like, "They're separatists. Like, how do you not know this?" Like, and the guy just acts like completely oblivious. Do we think he knew what was going on?
Yeah,
I think so. I think so. I mean, how can you trust them? You can't trust the Nemoidian.
I don't think he did.
That's cardinal rule.
I mean, I know they lie a lot, but he really seemed shocked. I think he knew that they had some stuff going on, but I don't think he really knew to what extent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
I'm
can see
willing to-
that.
I can see that a little bit. Liv's kind of gotten me a little bit more on the even side of things, not just one side or the other on this. But I mean, come on. You had a whole episode 1 in there like Newt Gunray does not speak for us. He doesn't?
And it's
Are
like
you
bestie.
sure about that?
I wanna check
Ooh.
He is,
yourself
he is
there.
the speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says like the equivalent, I want my lawyer at that point, which was funny. He's like, I want my litigator. And it's like, bro, you ain't gonna get a litigator. You're gonna end up in a cell in Coruscant. And then we get to the nice little scene where they're in the Senate building, and Lockdodd, another villain that I absolutely hate. He's the worst. But like I feel like that's what he's good at, so I feel like that's a good thing for him. But he really does a good job of playing both sides, but like we already know what side he is on.
Yeah.
And he's like, again, Newt Gunray has gotten to us again. It's like you excommunicated the guy. He shouldn't even be part of the organization, but like you have Trade Federation ships with the Separatists. So I feel like the Trade Federation should be stripped of like their neutrality.
But that's the thing. The Trade Federation, we all know the Trade Federation is part of the Separatist Alliance. And they have so much power. Like I'm going to be making a video about this soon about how powerful the Trade Federation actually is. They have their own seat in the Senate, and that's how they got away with the first meeting in the Phantom Menace in the Senate when Lockdodd was like, I object to the Senator's statements. And they just got away with it like there was no problem. And Valorum was like, yep, let's go with the Separatist guy. Like they have power. They have a foot in the Senate that they have and they can avoid all the problems that the Republic get them, whether it be taxation, war, any type of conflict that they had, they can easily avoid because of how rich and powerful they are.
Trade Federation equals Amazon.
Oh, wow. I mean,
Newt Gunray is
true.
Jeff Bezos of Star Wars?
100%.
I will not.
100%. Someone make an edit immediately.
Oh God, no. No, but you make a good point, Char. I mean, it's like think about it. Like how much like Legends has anybody have you two read?
A lot.
Sadly, not enough.
I've read a
Too
decent amount of
much.
Legend. I've read the Revan novel, and I've read Kenobi by John Jackson Miller, and I read Death Troopers. But I mean, I don't remember Death Troopers that much. But I remember reading Kenobi by JJM and Revan.
Plagueis.
Okay.
Liv. If that's one Legends book that I would recommend reading, it is Plagueis.
Definitely.
Plagueis is huge. Like I wish Plagueis was canon, like the actual events of it. But sadly, a lot of the things get retconned by Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray, which is another great book.
Yeah, I just read that one.
Oh, that
It was so good.
It's my favorite Star Wars book.
That one was great.
Love it.
Oh,
Anything by
goodness.
Claudia Gray is fantastic. You have to
Iconic.
understand that.
Yeah.
Like
Lost
Stars is great. Master and Apprentice is great.
All the
that
High
doesn't
Republic.
even just stop. Leia, Princess of Alderaan is great. Into the Dark is
Bloodline.
great. Fallen Star is great. Bloodline is great. Like
Yeah.
she never misses. She is
No, she
such a
doesn't.
talented writer that has so many different ideas
Mhm.
and implements so many different things to the story that will get you hooked. Like I don't know what she does, but she is a genius.
No, yeah, absolutely.
She like nails characterization, and I think that is
Oh,
what like separates
absolutely.
her. Like, and she does it in a way that is so effortlessly in her writing that it's
Mhm.
not like it feels like she's trying to push it. You're just like, oh, that's Obi-Wan. Oh, that's Anakin. Oh, that's Leia.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no doubt.
It's like she understands the characters without even trying.
Yes.
And she can just continue writing off of them and make backstories and further their characters to even be more greater than they already are. It's a weird concept that she can do that other writers like have a hard time doing.
No, yeah,
It's
Yes.
incredible.
no, yeah,
And especially with the High
absolutely.
Republic with a brand new set of characters and a new era of Star Wars that we haven't discovered until, when the High Republic first came out. So she just knows how to further the story, make the characters enjoyable, and make the story just incredible. It's
No. Yeah,
she's an
you're
artist.
she is. And that's why I want, like, I wish I could get, like, we're getting Brotherhoods, which is kind of like a Master and Apprentice type. But I
cannot wait.
want her to write a Anakin Obi-Wan story though. I feel
Luke.
like that would be great.
You know what we should do when Brotherhood comes out?
What?
We should like meet and like over like on StreamYard and just like have readings together. Like read it like with each other.
That's
I feel like that'd be fun because we read books individually, but it would be fun to read them and just like have our own reactions, like and be able to speak about it together.
But here's the issue. I listen to the book and I read it to it at the same time, and I don't like being spoiled. So like I'm gonna want to get that done as soon as possible. And you haven't even
we could do it together.
You haven't
We could do it
gotten
together.
here. You're proving yourself wrong here. You haven't even gotten finished with Fallen Star.
Yes, I have.
You haven't
I already
finished?
told you.
Wait, you finished it?
I told you that like
No, you
almost a week ago.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
That's a-
I even told
Ooh.
that to. Wait, who did I tell? I even told. I'm forgetting who I told. I think I told Brian. I told Brian I already finished it, or one of you guys. I already told you I finished it almost a
All
week
right.
ago.
Okay, we're gonna have to have. A
I would
long
recommend
conversation.
that you guys do that. V and I did that for all of the Thrawn Ascendancy series. We didn't record it or anything. We're just nuts, and we did it over Discord. And honestly, some of my best memories with V was doing that. So I would highly recommend.
Okay. We will. That's possible.
We'll talk about this later. We'll talk about this
We'll
later.
talk about this
Clone
later.
Wars now.
Yeah,
Clone
Clone
Wars.
Wars. Well, and
Clone
that's
Wars.
the end. Well, and that is the end of the episode. I mean the Trade Federation obviously disavows, and they move the blockade and everything ends up hunky dory, and that is the episode. Char.
All right, are you guys ready for my segment? Here we go. I know you guys kind of tinkered with one of them, but you didn't get it.
Usually you
entirely.
don't. I mean,
So,
like Malik got 2 out
always,
of 3 of
it's a-
them. Yeah,
He got 2 out of 3 of them. But I
It's
mean,
hilarious.
it's like very you have to be very in depth about it. So it's like it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So all right, ready?
Yep.
3 interesting facts about a certain Clone Wars arc that you didn't know about until now. Part 10, Sphere of Influence Edition. Fact 1, the creator's cameo. For those of you who didn't know, George Lucas has a cameo in Revenge of the Sith as Chairman Papanoida. Papanoida's children are based on Lucas's children, Katie, Amanda, and Jet Lucas. Fact 2, the planet of Pantora. This episode gives us the first look at the planet Pantora, although it's never actually visited during the episode. The first time the planet was actually visited on was during the Bad Batch. Fact 3, Greedo's choice of dialect. Greedo speaks Galactic Basic during the episode because he was originally supposed to speak Galactic Basic during A New Hope, but the dialogue during the editing of the film was changed to an alien language. And there you have it. Those are the 3 facts of Sphere of Influence.
Interesting facts.
Nice.
Very good, interesting facts, Char. You usually
Yeah,
do
so
a
if-
really
so if
good
you-
job.
So if you ever like question why Greedo speaks Basic and why he speaks Huttese during A New Hope, is because he was originally supposed to speak Basic.
Yeah, that's one of the things I had written down. That's a
Mhm.
really cool one.
Bam. There you go. Now, time for episode rankings.
Mhm.
So, Char, go down the breakdown.
Okay, so for those of you in the chat, you can go ahead and list your rankings, and I don't know why I'm forgetting. Elena's and Liz, go ahead and give us your ranks. So Youngling is bad, Padawan is okay, Jedi Knight is good, Master is great, and Grandmaster is Chef's kiss. It's Chef's kiss. So it could be your opinion, it could be your experience, it could be what you thought how it helped the show go on forward. And maybe it did the opposite for you. Maybe the episode didn't really hold up to your expectations. Maybe you didn't like some of the elements in the show. Maybe there's characters you didn't like. It could be anything. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to give this one a Padawan. I thought it was an okay episode. It wasn't. It's never been my more memorable episodes or arcs of the show. I think it's got good elements. I love Senator Chuchi. I love Papanoida. I love how Ahsoka plays a pretty big part in this episode with helping Chuchi figure out what's going on within the Trade Federation and what's happening, and helping Papanoida save their children. So, yeah, so I give this a Padawan.
Liz, we'll go you next.
All right. I think I'm gonna give it a Jedi Knight just because I love seeing Ahsoka do the Jedi mind trick for the first time. I think that's such a big thing for any Jedi, and that's so cool. And I also love to see her interact with Ryo, who's a character kind of closer to her age. So yeah, Jedi Knight.
Yeah, very nice.
Elena's?
I'm also saying Padawan.
Padawan?
Yeah, I enjoy it. I think there's fun elements. I think it's a fun episode, but I don't think that anything really like groundbreaking happens.
That's
And
how
I'm
I see
also
it
not.
too. You know, it's like that's like I said earlier. It's like a show, a movie, or a musical or a play. It's all about your experience, and if you liked it more than others, that's fine. And you know, our opinions shouldn't have to change yours, and vice versa. So, if you think this show really resonated with you and really helped the future of the show down the road, go ahead, give us your ranking, and it could be good, bad. You can even give this a grandmaster. If it really, really resonated with you and it made you feel really good inside, and you're like, yes, Ahsoka is just kicking ass and she's learning new powers and she's just more dominant than she was in the past 2 seasons. Yeah, there you can be your reason.
Right, yeah.
So
I think my other thing too is like and this is just me being nitpicky. I'm not a big fan of the pacing.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
yeah, I can see
It
that.
went by
Yeah.
too quick.
I mean,
like it just felt
in
like
some
they're
parts, I
gone.
mean,
We found them.
in some parts, yeah. I mean, I thought the way that Papanoida scenes with his son were handled really well in terms of pacing. But everything
Yeah,
else, I
those
mean,
were good,
it,
but
it did seem a little fast. But I
Mhm.
mean, it's you know, it's your thoughts, and everyone else is different, and yeah, that's good.
I'm just gonna make mine short and sweet. I think this is the lowest. No, that's not true. Have I late? So I don't think I've ever given an episode or an arc a Padawan before. So this is a first. It was okay.
Wait, did you not give that Gungan General episode a Padawan?
Oh,
Did you or did you not?
I don't remember.
Because I remember giving
Probably
Gungan General a
I
Padawan.
I might have changed my mind. I don't know. Somebody probably changed.
I don't know. Maybe.
I it was okay. I like the Ahsoka stuff. I love Papanoida stuff. Like I can get the pacing part. That does make a whole lot of sense. But I would definitely give it I'd give it a Padawan. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't something to write home about. But
Yeah.
like Char said, that's just our opinion or what we think. So it's totally different for everybody. And that's why I love doing the ranking, is because to
Mhm.
hear everybody's opinions about this episode, because it might change mine.
Yeah.
And
hearing other people's perspectives helps as well, because once you get a little bit of an idea of what everyone else is thinking, it could give you a little bit of context as to why that episode is better than you think it is. So yeah, I really appreciate that. And everyone in the chat, if you haven't already, go ahead and give us your rankings for this episode.
Yep. Call grade. Yeah, so element 7, part of the Dyad and the Force. Call grade Knight across the board. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I'll just get all the votes out when we got more, but Star Wars lawyer Chris.
Hello, what have we here?
If you're not following Star Wars lawyer, he's great. He just hit 9,000 followers on TikTok. He does great cosplay. He's an actual lawyer, so it's not a play on words. He's an actual lawyer. So him and Mara J. Skywalker do like Star Wars law every once in a while. So go check them out. It's great. Wow, we got a grandmaster.
Really?
That's
Wow.
interesting. See, I
Very
like seeing, like
nice.
I said, I like seeing the different perspectives. Carter, who's part of
They
They
Fly
Fly Now. But yeah, throughout the rest of the show, go ahead and give us your thoughts. But guys, we're gonna get into the segment called Star Wars News.
Let's do it.
Little trigger happy.
Let's get to the news.
That little trigger happy. My bad. V. Can I give it a Force Ghost since I don't think I've seen it? I swear I'll watch it. Watch these again soon. Oh man, Grand Admiral V, the other half of
Sith Faced.
Sith
podcast.
Faced. Yep, Sith Faced pod. Oh my goodness, she's so funny. I loved having you guys on for Boba Fett. That was such a good watch along. Especially the first episode was fun.
Yeah,
But
we loved it.
yeah, we are getting into the news, and the first big thing that dropped today, we finally got a release date and some news on the Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga.
About damn
Yeah,
time.
finally.
I've been waiting over a year for this game, and
yeah.
it was supposed to come out December of 19.
Was it? It's
Well, no,
19.
wait,
I thought it was
no.
summer. No, it was
No,
December
no,
of
wait.
20.
No, actually, no. It was supposed to come out of. Yeah, wait, December of 2020. Never mind. December of 2020. I was just blowing a date out of my ass, but no, it is December of 2020. But it is finally coming April 2022. Like, it's been over a year, and this is one of my most anticipated games to play. The two games I wanted to play were Halo Infinite, which is already out, and Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Which
Yeah.
this game is it's gonna be crazy. There's gonna be hundreds of characters you can play. I love how the game is set up. You can just go to different planets and explore the different parts of the Skywalker Saga, and
Mhm.
it's gonna be such a fun game. And from what I hear, I don't know if it's gonna be cross-platform, so you can play with Xbox and
I've heard it
PlayStation
is.
people together.
I've heard it is, so that's
But
a plus.
man, people have been waiting for this game to come out, and we finally get a release date.
Yep.
I actually pre-ordered it back in December of 2019, so I'm very happy that it's finally going to be out soon.
Where did
Yeah.
you pre-order it from, Liv?
Probably just Amazon. I know nothing about games, so I don't know.
No, and you know what's funny? We were thinking, when we got the news, I was thinking, at least I don't think I've pitched this to Char. I think we might just have a game night where me and Char just play, if it's cross-platform or if we both.
Well, we both have PlayStation 4s.
Fours, but hopefully I'll have a PS5 by the.
But if it's
at the
cross-platform,
beginning of
I'll
April.
I'll play on my Series S.
There you go. And we'll just have a game night where we're both playing the Lego Star Wars game, and y'all can come and hang out and stuff. But
That'd be fun.
it's really interesting because it comes out. I mean, a lot of the dynamic of it changing, like the details of like you can now do more combat stuff, which is
Yeah.
nice because in the original you were limited to a whole bunch.
Mhm.
But Elenus, what are your thoughts on this?
So I am not a gamer, but my little brother is. So what I
Yes.
do is I throw him money, and then he buys it, and then I play.
That's a neat way to
Nice.
do things.
That is a neat way
Yeah,
to do things.
Because I'm like, I do not have the money to buy my own console for Star Wars games, but I will
Mhm.
take my little brother's. And
awesome.
so I'm super hyped on it. Personally, more than playing, I love watching gameplay videos.
Okay, there you go.
So
Gameplay
I'm
videos
really
would be
hyped
fun.
to see those.
So, and I also love the fact that I think the number of characters has ballooned all the way to more than 300. You can play 300 characters.
From what I heard, you could play with 500 characters because there's going to be character packs.
yes,
I think there's going to be
DLCs.
6, I think, but there's going to be a lot of characters in this. You can play with Yaddle, you can play with a Tusken Raider, you can play with so many obscure characters that you didn't play with in the originals. I think you can play with the Tusken in the complete saga, but you can play with Jabba the Hutt. You could you can
Yeah, we
you can
saw
do
gameplay
all
with
of these
Jabba.
different
That was awesome.
characters.
Do we think we're gonna get DLCs like for Bad Batch, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, like
Oh yeah.
Rogue One, Solo.
Rogue One, Solo,
We definitely could. Like it's never say never. It's definitely possible.
and Ahsoka.
Yeah, it
Watch they have
depends.
300 characters and not Agent Callus. I'm waiting for it.
Oh God.
No, Luke, I'm just letting you know now. Once we play this game together, all I'm gonna do is just be Jabba the Hutt, and I'm just gonna be the most useless piece of crap in the game. I'm just gonna just slowly just slide
Yeah.
and
You'll have
just
very
speak
limited
Huttese
mobility.
and
Yeah.
just eat Tatooine patty frogs all day and just be like, ah.
Yeah, probably.
And then I'm gonna have a salacious big crumb just laughing at you while you're doing all the work, you know?
Oh my goodness. So it says that Aiden talks Star Wars topics. Sorry, Alyssa, it covers your face. Unfortunately. He said DLC characters are already confirmed, so that's nice to know. St. Pat, going back to the episode, said Jedi Knight, so that's nice. V says, but can you play as Thrawn? That's
Important questions.
Well, it depends. I don't know. I don't know if there's gonna be a Rebels DLC. I don't think they're gonna, because there was a Clone Wars specific Lego game that came out, so they could implement characters from the show. I don't think it'll happen for other ones, but like I said, never say never.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for this. But I mean, obviously, I'm probably gonna fork up a lot of money for the deluxe edition because
Oh yeah, you're gonna get that Lego Luke Skywalker with the blue milk.
Oh yeah,
That's what I'm gonna get.
oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, look at that cover. I mean, it's the boy.
It
It's
screams
gorgeous.
you,
boy.
Luke. It screams you. That's like
It
your ideal
does.
cover for
That
a game.
is my ideal cover. It's hilariously just on point. It is just on point. But
Like,
that was
what?
like
It's the Skywalker saga with the Skywalker.
yeah, the original Skywalker. But I'm interested to see how it works out. In other news, we got an excerpt with Master Yoda sharing wisdom with Master Kadam Sai. I'm not gonna read that because Midnight Horizon comes out in less than 2 weeks. Hopefully me and Char will get early access and we'll be able to read that before it all comes out. That would be nice to review. Boba, well, Tamora Morrison, I think we have to talk about this. In an interview, they were doing, I can't remember who it was for. Tamora Morrison said working with Ewoks they were great to work with. Is he talking about a flashback of like him going to Endor, or did he slip and accidentally reveal that he is Captain Rex in Ahsoka as a flashback? Liv?
I don't know. I hadn't really thought about that. I haven't watched the interview yet, but I love that idea about him being Captain Rex.
Well, yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, I actually saw this recently because a lot of people think that bearded man in the rebellion from Return of the Jedi was Rex, but it actually isn't. It's
Aw.
not Rex. But he is at the Battle of Endor.
Yeah, he
But
is.
that bearded man is not Rex. That's been confirmed.
But like Rex was there. Maybe
Yeah, Rex
maybe
was at the Battle of Endor, but that bearded guy that when Han did that tap the shoulder trick and the guy was like,
Yes.
"Hey."
Yeah.
And then they were sitting on the side of the bunker. That guy with the beard was not Rex, but Rex was at the Battle of Endor.
Yeah, so Chris said Fennec said that they were funny as well. So that means Ming-Na was definitely there. So maybe it was Book of Boba Fett. Maybe they show up. And V also said, I'm telling y'all, Elenis and I manifested the Ewoks with our caravan of courage. I listened to that, and my God, I got a new perspective on that movie.
It was a lot.
Yeah,
It was a lot.
it was a lot. Like, it might have been a lot for you to talk about, but it was a lot for me to like digest listening to you talk about it. But yeah, like, are we gonna see Ewoks not just on Endor then? If it's gonna be in Book of Boba?
I feel
Is
like
that
it
even
might be a
possible?
flashback. I
Yeah,
just don't see them
we've
on
never
Tatooine.
We've
Oh, no.
never seen Ewoks outside of the Forest Moon of Endor.
Not true. Not true.
Is that true?
Aftermath.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Because there was an Ewok
Yeah.
breaker, a slicer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But-
But I mean, do you think they will go that far as to bring Ewoks to Tatooine?
I mean, Wookiees have come to Tatooine, so anything's possible.
Oh, I mean, well, more than just one Wookiee has been to Tatooine. Let me tell you. But it's like,
Brooke.
but Wookiees have like the technology, like
Yeah.
they have like, but Ewoks are like they don't usually travel off planet.
Hmm.
Oh, I love that comment.
It's
The
not
Wookiees
Crimson
are actually
Dawn,
the
it is
big bad syndicate of the show. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Move
it is
over,
not-
Pikes. The Ewoks are here.
That would be so funny. I mean, if you guys have ever played Battlefront 2 and done Ewok Hunt, that is just that's the only
Luke,
thing
we
that
should
you
play
need to think
soon.
of.
We should play.
We will.
I
We will.
miss playing Ewok Hunt and just me just
Yeah, just being an Ewok is fun. The leader of Crimson Dawn is just 3 Ewoks in a trench coat.
Yeah, like Crimson Dawn sit down. Wicket and his boys are coming to fight, you know?
Yeah. Move over, Kira. You're not the bad one here. But speaking of Book of Boba Fett, I'm gonna start with Liv because this is her first time ever being on a podcast. And what have been your thoughts on Book of Boba as this far? Like,
Oh my gosh,
what do
I've
you think?
loved it. Absolutely loved it. I've really loved all the stuff with the Tuscans. I read the Kenobi book a while ago, and I loved how that book developed the Tuscans, and then to see it on screen was amazing. And I also love seeing Finnick and Boba work together, like in the last episode. But I've been really enjoying it and really looking forward to it every week.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
What's been your favorite like scene so far?
I think when at the end of episode 2, when after Boba had made his I can't remember what they're called, but the big Tuscan
Gaffy
stick
stick.
thing.
Gaffy
Thank
stick.
you.
Mhm.
And they were doing the dance by the fireside. That was amazing.
Oh yeah. Everybody's gonna know everybody knows which one what mine was. Like Elenis, we had the pleasure of having you guys on for the first watch along. But like
Yes.
ever since then, like what's been the expectation? What's been the feeling from you for this?
So what I've been enjoying so far with Book of Boba Fett is since I don't really have a stake in the character of Boba Fett, I can enjoy it as a Star Wars fan and not a psychopath. So it's been nice to just really be able to like take a step back and enjoy Star Wars for Star Wars and not sit there and be like, oh my gosh, well this connects to this and this does. So it's been refreshing for me. What I am enjoying so far is kind of this take on it where I think Star Wars is moving kind of away from like battles and blasters and more on let's talk about the people behind the blasters, the people behind the armor. And I'm loving the characterization. I'm loving the visual elements. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I am pumped though. My prediction about him going back to the Sarlacc pit happened. So I was like,
yes.
points
That
to me.
you should you should have seen the pop that got from Char and I.
Oh my god, I exploded.
Oh,
I
I was like,
exploded.
let's go.
I exploded just as much as that scene. Just to give you
my-
guys some context.
Oh my god. It was just like the fact that they actually used the seismic charge to get back at the
Spoilers for chapter 4 of the Book of Boba Fett.
I if it's been out for 2 days, I think we're okay, right? Fine, I'll put
Hopefully.
up the spoiler alert. Gosh, okay. We're talking
Well,
about Book
just
of
in
Boba Fett
case, just in
chapter
case,
4.
you know?
Honestly, any scene with Black Chrysanthemum has stolen the show for me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love that freaking Wookiee. I love him so much. The fact that he got to tear off an arm of a Trandoshan was like, yes, deep
Oh my
cut,
God.
baby. Thank
For
you.
those of you who are watching our watch along, if you remember, me and Luke were chanting, "Rip it off, rip it off, rip it off," and when he finally ripped off his arm, I was like, "Yeah!"
It was like we were
Like, we were like,
it was like we were in the cantina being like, come up, come up. Just
yeah, we were
like
just
the guy- the
bystanders, like,
bystanders
"Rip
being
it
like,
off, come
rip it
on!"
off. And another thing about that scene, and I brought this up when I was in Open Fleet, Camilla and Beth's TikTok live. I said that the moment where the Twi'lek comes in and she's talking to Chrysanthemum,
Oh,
like,
Garza Flip.
yeah, Garza Flip, when she comes in and talks to Chrysanthemum to kind of calm him down, was very Beauty and the Beast-esque. Did anybody else get a vibe like that?
Partially. I mean,
was like, you're beautiful.
Yeah.
I was more concerned about looking at her than really doing any analytics. I'm gonna be real.
Exactly.
yeah.
Does anyone have any theories about her, about what her role might be soon?
Oh, that's a Liv. Take it. Since you asked the question,
Take the reins.
yeah, take the reins. Like, what is your thoughts?
I mean, I think she's gonna end up playing a bigger role, and I think she might act as a bit of a twist, because I already like her character so much, but I feel like she might double cross everyone at some point. Maybe she's working with the Pikes. We don't know yet.
Yeah, anything could happen. But oh my God, Jennifer Beals just plays Garza Flip so cool, and we didn't get to see her in episode 3, so that was a little bit of a bummer. But once we got back to her in episode 4, it was like a refresh, just like letting us know, yep, she's still there and she's still running her little business, and it's cool because I feel like she's gonna have such a big role in this show. And I think in the last 3 episodes, she's gonna play such an integral part of these last final episodes. Because if Chrysanthemum came there, like, I feel like he came there for a reason. Like, and then if Garson knew, because, you know, in the comics, she referenced about his old gladiator days. And because in the comics, he was, you know, a gladiator and he fought in the rings and he was just whipping people side by side. And she's like, those days are over. And she's just like, you know, he's just like, but, you know, everyone wanted him to put him down. But me and Luke were like, yeah,
Rip his arm off. Do it.
But no, I feel like Garza Flip is gonna have a bigger role in this show.
Same.
Absolutely. I think she's working with the Pikes.
Yeah.
You
I don't
think
want
so?
her to, but
Agreed.
I know she is.
Oh yeah,
I don't
think
want
she's
her
working
to.
for Crimson. I think she's working for Crimson Dawn. Crimson
feel like-
Dawn, and I feel like she is Kira's like little spy, and I feel like that's a Kira move to have to put a lady in power to, like, you know, like, she's going to get the job done, because I feel like Kira's more of like the type of the person that's just like, I don't care who you are, but I like her. She can get the job done. She's seen some stuff. I think
But-
she's an informant. She's definitely going to turn on. She's definitely going to turn on everybody. But I feel like already, even in the like when Fennec and Boba are talking on top of the palace, like I feel like when they see the other syndicates leave or the other families leave, they already know that those guys are going to turn on them. Because Fennec says, what is the money stash look like? And Boba's like, I've got plenty of credits. And she's like, good, because we're gonna need muscle, and muscle it costs credits. And then we hear,
and then that was one of the best parts of the episode. You didn't need to see anything, you didn't need to look at anything, you didn't need to be informed about anything about in terms of dialogue. You just need to listen, and it tells you everything you need to know for maybe the next few episodes. Din Djarin, I got my eye on you.
Yes.
I put up spoiler alert for a reason. We could talk about it.
I
Can't
know.
we?
I was adding a little bit of suspense to it. I was like,
Okay.
Din Djarin,
All right. Well, if you're listening to the
I will see
podcast,
you soon.
if you're listening to the podcast, we put a spoiler warning. I'll try to tag the time from when it ended, when it started. But yeah, I've loved the direction in what's going on. But Alanis, what do you think she's gonna be doing? Like, what's your take?
I agree. She's definitely has some shady dealings. I think kind of everyone on Tatooine does. I think what's gonna happen is she's gonna double cross someone, and I don't think in the foreseeable future we'll see her, but I think she's gonna have a role within these last few episodes with maybe bringing in some more syndicates, information wise, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But I just love her every time she's on screen. So if they want to give a whole episode to her, I'm not going to complain.
No, yeah, I think that would be interesting. Another question, real quick. I guess I should ask before we end. Bounty hunters. I think a lot of the bounty hunters that we could see. I should ask, what bounty hunters are going to show up? That's the real question.
Din.
Well, yeah,
Din.
that's happening. And but does Bo-Katan also come with him?
My gut tells me no.
Okay.
My gut tells me no. And that's only because I think the Mando's role, I think since this is supposed to be like Mando 2.5, like to kind of bring everything in,
Mm-hmm.
I really think they're going to focus on him. I think we'll get a Bo-Katan name drop, but I don't necessarily think that she's going to show up.
It's possible. It's possible.
It is
Bo-Katan
possible.
could show up. Because think about it though, like at the very end of season 2 of Mandalorian, you kind of hear, because Boba and Bo-Katan had a little bit of a feud, but you understand that they kind of put their differences aside and were like, yeah, let's focus on saving the child. He was like, just be careful in there, don't worry. And he was like, make sure your shots look convincing. And he was like, don't worry, I got this. But it could happen, because think about it though, Mando, from how season 2 ended off, Mando is with Bo-Katan and with someone, and I think they're gonna go try to take Mandalore, or try to reacquire Mandalore and save it.
Mandalore.
But
The
so
Empire
so
turned
that
to
means that,
glass.
yeah. So if they get Din, Bo-Katan is a very possible option as well. So
I mean,
it's-
we did get Black Chrysanthemum, and he's from a comic.
yeah, like all you see
Yes.
is the light cruiser just pull up over Tatooine, and I'm like, yup.
Liv, who do you think is gonna show up?
I really don't know. I feel like I don't know a ton of bounty hunters because I'm very slowly getting into more comics and books. But I'm excited to see whoever shows up.
There you go. That's the vibe. That's the vibe. It's we can have expectations, and if that's the biggest thing, because I just have to remind myself, when Kenobi comes out, I'm gonna be like Char in the respects, like I'm gonna have too many expectations, but I always have to remind myself, like, it doesn't matter what my expectations are.
Mhm.
If they execute it well and they do a good job, I'm gonna enjoy it. I'll be eating out of their hands. It won't even matter. Like, that's how I am with a lot of the stuff that has happened in Star Wars. Everything that's been polarizing for some fans hasn't really been polarizing for me. Like, to talk about the sequels, like Palpatine coming back. That's a big thing on everybody comments on about Palpatine. But if you read the extensional media, the other media, Aftermath, the Battlefront 2 campaign is also mentioned. Like, he had a contingency plan. Like, people, let's not forget, this guy was a mastermind. He was always scheming. There was always a second plan. And like, I really liked Rise of Skywalker, and I think this is the first time I'm saying this on the podcast. The Rise of Skywalker is my favorite sequel. And the reason why is because of the connection to the entire saga as a whole, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah,
I like
alright.
that. I like the fact that yes, the central villain. There were a lot of things that were wrong with it, just like the sequels were. But I'm not as like connected to those issues. I'm willing to look at them and say, you know what, I might not like it, but it makes sense for the story, so I'm just gonna go with it. You know what I mean? But like, it doesn't bother me if there's like, as long as it's not continuity issues, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're one of those people that are predicting characters to show up in the Book of Boba Fett, just don't say Mace Windu. Just don't
For
say
the
Mace Windu.
love of God, no.
Don't say Mace Windu. That's all I gotta say.
That
Don't
guy
mention him.
is dead.
He's not coming back.
He's
He has
dead.
no purpose. What do you think he was doing in the original trilogy? Just sitting in the bottom of Coruscant and 1313, just having a couple of drinks with, some regular people? What do you think he was doing?
No.
You think he just sit out the entire Galactic Civil War and just hung out? No. So don't say Mace Windu.
He's dead.
Don't say Mace Windu. He has no purpose.
He's dead. He's dead.
So, and like my 3 main characters, so I made a video about who could show up. So I have Embo, which is like what my heart wants. I want Embo to show up. My brain is telling me Kira, and just for shits and giggles, I want Hondo Anaka to show up.
Yes.
Oh, I would love that.
Oh, Hondo, yeah, absolutely.
I would love Hondo to show up. All you hear is, my friend, I am Hondo Onaka.
My friends, like
I am working in Black Spire Outpost on Batu.
Yeah, just Hondo would be awesome. I would love Hondo.
Yes.
But guys, that's going to be the end of the episode. I want to thank everybody in the chat and everybody and our 2 awesome guests. I really appreciate you guys coming on. It was a ton of fun. I hope to have you guys back again. I think I've got both of you slated for later episodes, which is exciting.
Yes.
But let's go with Elenis. Where can the good people follow you throughout the galaxy and on the social medias?
So if you want to follow me, I am Notakyber on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And because we talked about a little bit on here, if you want to listen to my podcast that I do with V, Grand Admiral V, you can find Sith Faced Pod, and that is our user on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter as well.
I am Kybercrystaldesigns on both Instagram and TikTok, and I do lots of fun art things if people are interested in that.
Yeah, she does a lot of good work painting, and it's phenomenal. So go check out her stuff. Oh yeah, and by the way, good job on your first podcast.
Thank you.
I'm glad it was us because you handled it like a champ. This usually goes off the rail. It usually goes off the rails. So don't feel like we I hope we didn't ruin your experience.
No, you guys are amazing. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Char, where can the good people follow you across the galaxy and on the social medias?
Okay, remember, I want good people. I don't want bad people or subpar
Yeah.
people. I want good people, maybe even great people, but good people. You can find me on TikTok at CharCharJ, and you can find me here every Wednesday morning, Thursday night, and Friday night to talk about the Book of Boba Fett, watch Book of Boba Fett, and our weekly Clone Wars rewatch reviews. So that's where you can find me. And Luke, you can go ahead and explain where we can find your stuff.
So you can follow me at the Podwans podcast on TikTok, the Podwans pod on Instagram, and at Podwans on Twitter. Again, we've got tomorrow. We've got a stacked roundtable discussing Chapter 4 of the Book of Boba Fett. With They Fly Now. It's gonna be a great time. You can also see us on the watch along. I will be announcing who will be on that early next week. And then obviously here Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Also another note, roundtable tomorrow night, 8:30 Central Standard Time. We're pushing it back a little bit so that we can give our guests a little bit more time. But it's going to be awesome. We would love to have everybody come and check that out. But again, thank you everybody that showed up in the chat and obviously our two guests. So that's usually where we end. For Light and for Life.
May the
Char.
force be with you always. Thank you for Tuda coming on. And Luke, you can go ahead and do your thing.
May the force be with you.